Imagine that there was a new dermatologic condition that was just recently diagnosed and it affected 55 million Americans. It unapologetically targeted our children and our adolescents. It affected them in the most sensitive and visible places, the face, the neck, and the chest. And what we saw in those areas was red, it was painful, and sometimes full of pus. In a not small number, these lesions would leave permanent scars. And these permanent scars would serve as a lifelong reminder, both to the casual observer and to the sufferer, that they had had this disease. There were no direct casualties from this, with the rare but very real exception of those that committed suicide from disease-associated depression. And imagine that our wealthy and scientifically advancing society looked at this new disease and they said, it's just a rite of passage. Or perhaps they looked at this new disease and they said, they'll grow out of it. It only affects them for about 10% of their lifetime. I cannot imagine that they would look at them and say, it's cosmetic, which would mean that those with financial means could have their disease treated while the others could continue to work on their good character as they dealt with this through such an important time of psychosocial development. Clearly, I'm not talking about a new disease. I'm talking about acne, and I am really concerned that it is being marginalized in our healthcare system. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's just so common that we're becoming desensitized to it. I don't fully understand this, and yet I know every time I poll an audience of dermatologists, and I ask them, how many zits does it take on your face to mess up your day a little bit? The overwhelming answer is always 1. As an advocate for my acne patients, I am jealous of what is happening in the psoriasis market. I continue to be bombarded by new and very expensive medications for psoriasis. And I'm grateful for these medications because they offer my psoriasis patients the chance to be clear or almost clear 80% of the time or more. I am willing to invest the time that it takes to get those drugs approved so that my patients can benefit from them. Psoriasis warrants this great effort because it is associated with things like destructive arthropathy, it is associated with depression, it is associated even with major adverse cardiovascular events. But I would say that acne warrants this same investment and commitment. Acne also deserves our great effort. We as dermatology providers must strive to make our acne patients clear, or almost clear, not just better. We must recognize the lifelong impact that acne has on acne sufferers, both physically and psychosocially. We must take the time to ensure that acne patients get the medications that they need. And we must raise our unified voices to save acne, to ensure that it remains a covered entity in our healthcare system. Join me to take a stand and save acne.